And the music's off. No copyright violations. Friends, Mario Cavallo here. It has been so long since I have made a audiophile related video, and I have a very special reason. I'm about to tell you about one of the greatest preamplifiers you have ever heard. Well, I guess I should say I have ever heard. In fact, the greatest amplifier I have ever heard, and you're looking at it right there. Now, this is an amazing story, and it's a quick story, and here's how it goes. This is a fantastic turntable. We're going to start with, well, first of all, boys and girls, we need a source, we need an amplifier, and in this case, it's an integrated amplifier, and we'll talk about it in a minute. And you may want a separate preamplifier in the front of your amplifier. That's this conversation. Well, let's start with the source. My source is the finest budget audiophile turntable on planet Earth, and that is the Amari LP10MK. This turntable weighs about 18 pounds. Solid wood base. That platter you see is alone weighs about 5 pounds, 6 pounds. On a sub platter that weighs 1.5 pounds. On Amari's, proprietary tone arm, that this is their $1,000 turntable or $800 turntable. And this very same tone arm is on their $3,000 turntable. So all I can say to you is, I don't know of any independent organization that's ever tested it, but it must be good. That's all I can say. By the way, if you want to buy one of these, I can ship it to you. Even with the shipping, it's, I'd say, as good as any $1,000 turntable that you might buy there, like a Riga P3. I'd say it's comparable. Now, can I prove it? No. But when I listen to this turntable, all my records, and then I listen to CDs, and I compare, I know how good my turntable sounds. And it sounds as wonderful. And by the way, go quickly here. Here in China, here is my stack of vintage vinyl only. I don't buy any new vinyl. All of this vinyl is 60s, 70s, and 80s. Classical. There's my mother's old Madame Butterfly set. Puccini. Here's my all my old classical, old rock, old jazz. Now, all right, back to the source, because this is very important. So whether the source is a CD, or, here's my FX Audio M1 Excellent Sabre DAC. This is about a $250 DAC, as good as any $250 DAC out there. Okay. So on this turntable, it comes with an 1895E cartridge, which is an excellent budget cartridge. I upgraded it, and it was a substantial sound upgrade to the well-respected $120 or so Nagaoka MP110. So there's our sources. Now we move on to the beautiful and very careful here, very, very wonderful, most of them all are wonderful, KT88 tube amplifier. This is the Cayin A88T, and it is the reference model. This is the most expensive piece of equipment you're looking at that I bought. This thing is, if you want to buy it, it's around $2,000. I was able to pick it up for around $1,600 here in China with Gold Lion KT88 tubes and my Godzilla. This is a fantastic amplifier. You can go back to the old Six Moons audio review of this amplifier. It is your classic, fantastic sounding amplifier. Put it up next to the Macintosh, and some people go, well, this one's fine. Absolutely as good as the other one. And of course, the Macintosh costs like $8,000. Extremely well made. And again, this is the upgraded model. Even better Japanese something or other, transformers, and whatever else they did to it, that this one is the reference model. So this has been my integrated amp, which means this has a preamp in the front, obviously, because you can switch between sources. But you see it's got pre-in right down there. And the Six Moons guy said, when you treat this tube amplifier as a power amplifier by putting a really good preamp, separate preamp on the front, it sounds even better. And you're just going to like it. I was like, okay. And I didn't do that for a couple of years. So now here I am listening to my system. And guys, by the way, my bookshelf, I shouldn't call them bookshelf, I should call them stand mount. These are really interesting, the JBL 530 stand mounts. Many of the YouTube guys out there like them even more than the KEF LS100s. And it's true. That is JBL's professional compression horn tweeter right there. And even though that's only it's a heavy duty 5 1/4 inch driver, but it's in a big box. So this thing really does 40 hertz or maybe 42, 43 hertz. But I'm amazed at the fact that I don't need a subwoofer. You know, and I'm not a deep bass guy, I'm a jazz guy. So you could believe me when I say I don't really care that much about a subwoofer. But the fullness and how dynamic these sound, anyone will tell you. These are a great, great, smaller stand mount speaker. And they're on rock solid stands, which are made of solid Turkish quartz, which I had custom made. And that's it. You know, there's the source, there's the speakers, there's the turntable, there's the amplifier. I got a big fat power cord. I don't know that it makes a difference. I bought a big fat power cord. Some of my cords are better, some of them are not. I don't notice that those things make a huge difference. Okay? All right. So the story is right here. Some of you may be familiar with Jungson, Jungson. That's that brand right there. You see that logo? You can barely see it because this is a chrome front. Okay, that's Jungson, Jungson, and they make a set with this preamplifier and a separate power amplifier that goes with it. Sean over at, what's it called? Hi-Fi Fidelity. He reviewed it, and he says, you know, it's powerful, sounds amazing, sounds as good as anything you want it to sound, but it's like $2,500 back then. Well, now you can buy it a lot less because this is an older model. But a few years ago, they came out with their 20th anniversary edition, which they claim is upgraded special 20th anniversary edition. So the chrome front, and of course, they're claiming, and of course it's true, all upgraded interior parts for an even higher resolution sound. Now, guys, I decided I wanted to get a preamplifier to upgrade my system. But as you can see from this, I'm not rich. We're not looking at $20,000 here. I don't have that kind of money. So I'm not going to buy a $3,000 or more preamplifier to put on the front of my Cayin A88T tube amp, right? And so I was searching amplifiers, preamplifiers at the most in the $1,000 range, and reading all the reviews and checking them all out. And I was able, because I'm here in China and I have an excellent dealer, I was able to buy this for substantially, brand new, for substantially less than what you probably can buy it for. I don't know that you can buy this beautiful separate JA1 20th anniversary amplifier on a couple of those Chinese sites that are there. I could even sell you one for like $1,200. I don't know. But I was able to get it for almost half of that. I was able to get it for like something like 600, something, 600, 650, something like that. Guys, I'm telling you that was like putting a miraculous, divine, unbelievable new piece of equipment in my system, and I don't know how to explain it. And I'm going to explain it, and then we're done on this video. You listen to the sound on this system, as I was for 2 years with this Cayin tube amp and these lovely JBL speakers, and all the dynamics are there, and all the clarity is there. The music separation, the snare of the drum here, the drum rolls through the stage, the depth, the front, beautiful. The clarity of the highs, the warmth of the mids, everything you'd expect it to be. When you take a nice source, run it through a beautiful tube amplifier, KT88 tube amplifier, and run it out through those JBLs. Yep, absolutely yes. And I thought, well, and I want you to know, I bought this new JA1 Jungson 20th anniversary preamp, not knowing I was going to get an improvement. I bought it because I just wanted it. Guys, I like to buy my equipment as a piece of furniture. I regard this as a piece of furniture. It's not just a piece of audiophile equipment. My dad had the old original Fisher, and I bought this as a homage to my dear father. Okay, that I now have a tube amplifier like my dad did when I was a 10-year-old kid. I remember. Okay, so for me, this was a purchase that I was willing to make for around $600. And I bought it knowing, you know, I might not hear much of a difference. Sort of like when you buy fancy cables, right? And you buy a $100 set of RCA cables and you think it might sound better, and nah, hell no, it doesn't sound better, right? Compared to, $10 set. I bought it accepting the idea that I just wanted the 20th anniversary edition of this preamp. And then later on, by the way, I'm going to be buying other separate power amps to put behind this. And I'm just having fun. So I was willing to spend $600 knowing I might only get a small change in the quality of the sound, or maybe even none at all. Unlikely I would get a degradation of the sound. Well, here's what happened. When I listened to my, one more thing I have to tell you real quick. This is how quickly I can change the input. There it is on the back of directly into the back of the tube amplifier. And when I want to run through the JA1 preamp, I plug it in there. I got to tell you one more thing. I'm plugging it in through this equalizer, but the equalizer's on bypass. And the equalizer does not, I've already checked this equalizer. It's a 30-band equalizer. I love it. And adding it into my system did nothing to change the sound. It didn't degrade the sound. I'm telling you, it's a really clean pass-through 30-band EQ, and I have it on bypass, okay? So otherwise, I would plug those directly into the back of the JA1. So just trust me on that. There's no difference because I've got that in the system as well, okay? The difference is like night and day by soundstage. Clarity and separation opens up. I don't know how else to describe it, and I'm talking to the tune of like 25, 30%. Everything smooths out and becomes smoother and silkier and clearer when I put that preamplifier on the front, which shocked the hell out of me. This sounds wonderful. I put on the music. I got my full, deep, dynamic bass, of course, to the limits of the speakers. I've got JBL's amazing mid-range, KT88 amazing mid-range, crystal clear highs, all in the sound stage. When I play Herbie Hancock's Cantaloupe Island, the trumpet player is up here, and the other players are here. The trumpet comes from here, not just from the center, right there. And I go up a little bit tall, like, oh, he's standing up. It's terrific. Okay. So what happened when I added the JA1? And the answer is I went, whoa, what the hell? Just like that. Okay. This is the greatest preamp. Adding this is the greatest $600 I ever spent. It was like I bought a new $20,000 system. That's how much of an improvement it made. When I listen to this, the sound is in a beam between the two speakers, slightly upward, right there. So you see my fingers, right? Follow my fingers. That's the sound stage. And that's what it sounds like. It's about 3 to 4 feet high. And the mids and the highs are all scrunched in a band across here. You say to me, what the hell are you talking about, Mario? Because if I hadn't told you this, you would never have noticed it. You would never have noticed it until I put this amazing JA1 preamp in the front. The entire sound, all I can describe to you is that the whole sound stage opened up and dropped to the floor, like literally down to the floor. I went, the bass just like dropped. I don't even know how to describe it. Down in the size of the soundstage. And all the instruments opened up with it, like when you would blow up a balloon and they would just expand and get further apart. That's what happened, guys. So the trumpet that was there and the saxophone that was there and the snare drum that were there, or now the trumpet's there, the saxophone's there, and the snare drum's over there. They were further apart. Open space, and of course, individual resolute clarity of the sounds, because you take the same three sounds and put them in a 2 square foot space. Now just expand the size of that space to 3 square feet, and those sounds are obviously farther apart, and they're going to be more resolute and clear. Now the overall clarity was identical. There was no increase in highs. There was no increase in mid-range. There was increase in bass because it opened up downward. No doubt about it. So you're talking about dynamic range. This is the word I believe we're looking for, and that's my explanation to you about what happened when I bought this, what I have to regard as the greatest preamp in the world. It's supposed to have the matching amp on the back. Here I am, crazy guy, with a solid state preamp with a tube amp on the back side. That's the opposite of what most audiophile talk recommends. They'd say, get yourself a tube amplifier, preamp, to warm up the solid state power amp. And I'm doing the exact opposite. Did I just get lucky? Guys, I don't know if I just got lucky. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. And all I can tell you at this point is I'm going to buy, I got my eye on some other amps that I'm going to buy, power amps. You know, I want to be able to have like 2-3 separate systems that I can switch between here in my space, you see. So that each system has a different personality. And again, I regard it all as pieces of furniture. One's not better than the other, necessarily, they're just different. That's the story, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. The story of this, what I claim for fun, is the greatest sounding, open, full, clear, amazing, and reasonably priced special Jungson 20th anniversary JA1 preamplifier. See ya. Have a great day.